At the recent launch of the Prime Minister's new book, Diary of a Prime Minister, which he conceived while visiting the Mount St. Benedict Monastery in Trinidad, a visiting member of that monastery has provided an historical hint on previous visitors to the monastery. It seems another great Caribbean leader also visited the monastery to pray after he led his daring revolution, which established communism in his country.
Why would a busy Prime Minister want to visit a quiet monastery on a hill? In April 1959, another comrade, Prime Minister Fidel Castro of Cuba, also broke ranks and visited the monastery of Mount St. Benedict. The Cuban Revolution took place on January the 1st of that year. And Dr. Castro had touched down at Piarco on a mission to Brazil in April, together with Che Guevara and others. As the aircraft was getting ready to take off, he looked up to the hills in the northern range, and when he saw the Abbey with its complex of impressive buildings, he was reminded of the hills from which he and a host of bearded guerrillas descended to seize power from the dreaded dictator Batista in Cuba.
Lime has made a third rate reduction. During a press conference this morning, country manager Angus Steele said that Lime continues to offer savings to its customers during this harsh economic year.
The NTRC, as a regulator, has reduced interconnection rates. Interconnection rates are the rates that one provider pays to the other provider when you send a call from one network to the next network. This is a third interconnection rate reduction and part of a process which is called a price cap plan, the PCP, price cap plan, where regulated services are determined by the NTRC, and where those services within a basket of services have to be reduced.
Steele announced that reduced rates had become effective at 12:01 this morning. He identifies that the sole purpose for the NTRC is to provide lower rates within the telecommunications system. Meanwhile, he stressed that Lime has moved on with the ever-changing technology. Last week, the launch of the NGN Next Generation Network from the System X took place.
St. Vincent has the highest release of NGN in the world, period. And that is significant. This is a project where, for the very first time, we have had major equipment players come together to make this work. This has never been done before. You're talking about Sonos, who provides the core of the equipment. You talk about Huawei, a company out of China, and they provide the equipment that gives you the service into the home. And you're talking about Ericsson, that provides the transmission side, especially for the Grenadines, because we have so many islands. We have a significant radio network. And those are the three companies coming together to make this work.
While Steele assures that a fourth reduction is on its way, his next plan is to work on the E in Lime, now that NGN has become a reality. Commissioner Keith Miller, who was a guest on the Unrendered program on Friday, October 8th, said there has been a slide in the 36 recorded murders in 2007 up to the present time, notwithstanding that there have been 20 recorded murders for this year. He also spoke on the implementation of VINCIPAC.
VINCIPAC was that crime-fighting tactic or strategy we put in place to deal with our unprecedented number of killings.
Okay.
Because what we noticed is that there were a number of gun and drug-related killings coming out of that 36. In fact, 21 of them were by way of the firearm.
Commissioner Miller also mentioned that firearm-related killings tend to carry a higher level of concern in our society, and as such urged the public to pay attention to the reduction in firearm-related murders.
We have seen the trend of really vicious killings being reduced. As I said before, last year, 6 persons died as a result of the use of the firearm.
Right.
And this year to date, we have 20 killings, and again, 6 lost their lives by the way of the fire.
He credits this reduction to VINCI-PAC's implementation and also spoke on other reasons for the organization's establishment.
PAC was not only an operation to eradicate the cultivation of cannabis. That is only part of VINCI-PAC. VINCI-PAC, involved getting rid of, criminals from here, the fugitives from St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Unrendered will be aired on Thursday at 8 p.m. Director of the Buildings, Roads and General Services Authority, BRAGSA, Brian George, said he is pleased with the response of the organization to the widespread disruptions caused by recent heavy rains. Numerous landslides were reported across the country last week as a broad area of low pressure over the Eastern Caribbean resulted in torrential rainfall locally. Mr. George said teams were dispatched to the affected areas in a prompt and efficient manner. He said some private contractors were also utilized in the cleanup process. Revenue generated from the Solidarity car parks in Kingstown and Arnis Vale is expected to improve the operations of the National Labour Congress, NLC, and the Windward Islands Farmers Association, WINFA. The two organizations jointly signed an agreement effective October 1st to manage both car parks under the umbrella body SVG Solidarity and Action Incorporated. WINFA coordinator Renwick Rose said that the joint venture initiative was conceptualized at a time when the global financial crisis is impacting negatively on the financing of the organizations. Mr. Rose said the initiative also seeks to pool the resources of both entities to provide greater benefits to their members. Friday was the deadline for local businesses to register to participate in VINCI Expo 2010, being coordinated by the local Chamber of Industry and Commerce. The Chamber says VINCI Expo 2010 will be held on October 21st and 22nd under the theme Attaining New Heights Amidst the Uncertainty. According to the Chamber, the theme encapsulates the dilemma facing businesses as they strive to survive the current global economic downturn. It says the expo seeks to cultivate and maintain a positive atmosphere that will encourage businesses to capitalize on new opportunities. The event will showcase and promote Vincentian businesses in the agro-processing, light manufacturing, tourism, and financial sectors. An official from the St. Lucia-based OECS Secretariat says too often regional stakeholders in disaster management come up with a limited assessment of the impact of a natural disaster. Keith Nichols is the head of the Environment and Sustainable Development Unit at the Secretariat, and he was part of a 3-day workshop on macroeconomic damage assessment, which wrapped up here today. Mr. Nichols says the true cost of damage should not be limited to the physical aspects of a disaster. The training exercise was organized by the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, and the OECS Secretariat. St. Kitts Nevis Prime Minister Denzel Douglas is in Washington making a case for debt relief for Caribbean countries. He is demanding that special consideration be given to those highly indebted middle-income countries that no longer have access to concessionary support but are still very much in need of financial help. Mr. Douglas said he had discussions with the IMF, the International Finance Corporation, a member of the World Bank Group, and officials from the World Bank itself on the issue. St. Kitts Nevis leader presented a paper on behalf of the 54-member Commonwealth, which addressed the issue of debt. The chief executive of the industrial plant at the center of the toxic sludge spill in Hungary has been taken in for questioning by police. The arrest of Zoltán Bakonyi was announced by Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Mr. Orban also said the company would be temporarily nationalized and that those responsible for the disaster should bear the financial consequences. 7 people have so far died from the October 4th spill near Ashka in the west of the country. About 150 people were also injured after up to 700,000 cubic meters of toxic byproduct from the production of alumina burst from a storage reservoir. And now here's Al Archer with your weather update.
And late today, we take a look at our satellite photos, which are indicating nice, fair, and dry weather around St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have a tropical wave, though, located about 400 miles, 625 kilometers out to the east of us, and producing a few widely scattered rain showers here this evening across areas around Barbados and into the waters east, north, and southeast of Barbados. The movement of these is towards the west-southwest, though, at about 20 knots. Elsewhere, we have a front now stalled over the Atlantic waters, well to the north of the northernmost Leeward Islands. I don't think that's going to be a factor here. Western Caribbean continues to be a hotbed of showers and thunder showers, and the latest computer forecast models are suggesting that that area of disturbed weather in the northwest Caribbean could eventually spin up to become a tropical depression or tropical storm. The most likely time for that to occur would be over the weekend, and then it looks like the storm system would intensify and move on to the northeast up through western Cuba, a little bit south of Havana about a week from this Thursday, and then thereafter move across the northern Bahamas maybe about a week from Friday. Of course, a lot can happen between now and then, but something we'll keep an eye on. It will not have any impact on our weather. High pressure center located over the far eastern Atlantic is forecast to weaken, thus leaving us with a forecast here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines of partly cloudy skies, a 20-25% chance of widely scattered trade wind showers from the east now for the next 10 days or more. High temperatures are daily back at around 89 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Lows nightly 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. And a look at our marine forecast is calling for winds through tonight to be coming in out of the northeast to east, running at about 10 to 15 knots. Seas at 1.5 meters Tuesday and Tuesday night. Winds are east 10 to 15 knots. Seas 1.5 to 2 meters in mixed north and east swells. Let's check tides here at Kingstown. Starts with a low tide at 6:30 tonight, high 12:17 in the morning, a low at 4:32 in the morning, and then a high at 10:53 Tuesday afternoon. Nice weather continues. All in all, just a few widely scattered rain showers now for the week, with high temperatures each day at about 89 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius, and the nightly lows at 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. I'm meteorologist Alan Archer on IKTV. It's all about you.
Sports is up next.